Jim Jones, you could do better, brother. I love you too much. I love you too much to not be honest with you. Rick Ross, you could do better, brother. Meek Mill, you could do better, brother. I love you too much not to be honest with you. Are you the face of prison reform? Cause are you the face of prison reform? Or are you sitting here on your new song with Ross talking about getting somebody murked and shot at the red light? Which one is it, bro? Which one is it, bro? Because I did a shoe giveaway in my city and gave out 1,300 pairs of your shoes because they said reform underneath them. And I love that you partnered with a major shoe company and you out here pushing prison reform. But now I got to sit here like, man, this man glorifying getting people killed as of a week ago. Like, what are you doing, bro? Lil Snoop really got killed. That broke your heart. You wear him around your neck. Why are you glorifying the same thing when my best friend got killed? When Carl got killed, New Orleans know who I'm talking about. When Carl got killed, and I had to go to his funeral and read the eulogy and be part of the funeral. And I got back in my causeway after the funeral and I turned on my music and I realized I'm listening to music that's glorifying the same stuff that just happened to my best friend. Mm-hmm. It gave me chills. And I needed that moment. That was my come to Jesus moment of like, D, you got to do something different, brother, because you have a taste for this poison, but you're attracted to the poison. And rap is great. The rap game, hip hop industry is great at cooking up some delicious poison. I don't call you out because I got a problem with you, man. Like, I wish we could go get lunch right now, me and any of them. I love you too much to not be honest with you. There you go. That's what it is, bro. Yeah. And so if anybody feel bad about being called out, it's like, let's talk. Let's talk about it and let's just figure out what we can do better. But at the end of the day, guess what's not changing? The word of God ain't changing. Okay. There's death and life in the power of the tongue, Proverbs 18 and 21. That's not changing. And trying with this foolish argument that it's just entertainment. This ain't real. Mm-hmm. How many more people got to die in the hood, man? How many people at the end of the day lives got to get ruined and poisoned, and how many rappers got to get killed for us to be like, come on, man, when it's hip hop, it's a whole culture and it's implied that this is autobiographical and this is nonfiction tales that people are telling. How much does that have to happen? So don't hit me with that. People just don't want to confront the reality of this stuff, man.
All right, man, that was D1 saying y'all got to do better. But of course, Freaky Ricky, Free Rick Ross from around the way has some response to say. I didn't want that to rhyme, but hey, here we go.
Meek Mill, you could do better. Jim Jones, you could do better. Rick Ross, you could do better. I gotta see you do better. Wait. Little man, whoever you is, until you feed the kids where you from for 20 years straight. Don't question Rose. Wait. Until you buy 10,000 bikes, 10,000 trikes. Give all the young girls who pregnant Pampers for Christmas for 20 years straight. Don't question boss. You heard me, little man? Get that basket off your head so you could think clear, little man. You going viral for speaking on names, not because of your talent, not because of your gift. Go viral, player, off of your wisdom that you sharing. You speaking on that, yeah, Meek Mill, you just, boy, you know what I mean? He died this summer, they released self-destruction. It's dying right now. It's going to be, don't make it to see in the morning. Get that basket off your head, boy, and come together with real around the world. So when your grandma need a kidney, since you want to go viral, I'm going to show you how to go viral, little man. But go viral feeding them kids in your hood. Go viral giving them bikes away. Go viral Christmas time. Now, don't be saying, Jim Jones just gave away 6 figures worth of clothes in his hood, and you a who talking, looking vegan, knowing you eat more Piggly Wiggly bacon than any other out here. Shut up.
All right, so with that being said, okay. Do y'all want you want me to play a response? Because there's a lot of clips. There's a lot of clips.
I mean, yeah, we got time.
All right, so real quick, this is D1 responding to Rick Ross. Here we go.
Rick Ross. First of all, I love you, brother, and I want you to know that because you sounded a little upset in your video reply to me. But I love you too much to not be honest with you. And right now, you're deflecting. I was talking about your lyrical content, and you talking about turkeys. I'm talking about you as a hip-hop OG still glorifying murder and drug dealing in your music. And you talking about turkeys? Bro, more people are streaming your music than eating your turkeys. You can believe that, brother. Oh, then you can make fun of my accent and my hair, brother. That's lightweight, you heard me? What am I doing to help my community? Well, my whole adult life, I've been a middle school teacher. Now I'm a full-time hip-hop artist. Just dropped my 10th album. It's called Uno. You should check it out, actually. I've helped to give out hundreds of thousands of dollars in college scholarships for students around this country. Done financial literacy tours year after year, brother. Shoe drives, toy drives, voter registration rallies, prison ministry. I'm currently a professor at Tufts University teaching the intersection of hip-hop and social change, and I'm a fellow at Harvard University. Ultimately, I'm just trying my best to do God's work in this industry, bro. Then you say, won't I go viral with my own content? Brother, you're a little late to the party. I've been successful for a while, man, and not having to glorify the things that's harmful to our community. Could you do that? I'm curious. Bro, I work with some of the same artists as you. The Game, Lupe, Big Crit, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, Currency, Kevin Gates, Sway, Charlamagne. These people know me, man. So as black men, let's do our best to do God's work and not glorify what's holding us down, man.
All right. So that's what was being said. And we got some more clips, too. Because, of course, he did. We didn't get Meek Mill's response. Meek Mill did respond to D1. D1 responded to Meek Mill, saying, basically, I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He was basically saying, like you can still, I think he was kind of, Meek Mill was kind of like, yeah, I could do both. I could be prison reform, face to prison reform, and talk that street talk. And D1 was like, bro, you can make that change. And if people don't want to rock with you after they change, they wasn't really for you and everything of that nature and stuff of that, something like that. And then, of course, Jim Jones, named after the cult leader. He had some words he wanted to say to D1, and we're gonna get this here, and we're gonna spit it out.
I really do a lot for the people.
Mm-hmm. He talked about lyrics.
I don't care about none of that.
Okay.
In real life, I do a lot for the people. Miss me with the rhetoric about what I do in my music. I get money off my music. Don't tell me how to make my dollars. You gotta watch whose names you mentioning out here. Mm-hmm. You heard?
Yeah.
Because my little cousin might not like how you mention my name. You heard? And then he might want to slap a dread out your head just because he don't understand that you're using my name for fame, and he don't understand that.
Yeah.
There's a certain way to go about certain things when you're using certain people's names. When you do certain things, it's a reaction for every action.
What's the best way?
It's out now. It ain't no best way to have a conversation. He got to see me when he see me now.
Okay.
You heard?
If he reached out,
he had the chance. He could have reached out. That avenue of talking to me is out.
That's out.
You heard? I had the same conversation with Farrakhan.
How did that go?
He summoned me. For saying his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
If you know now what you're talking about, young man, let me school you to what you're doing. Well, yeah, it is music. So in a bit of music, you do get.
Yeah.
You do get what you get. You heard? But we're still in the entertainment business. But miss me with the. You heard? When you see me, keep your hand down. You heard? Where you from? New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Don't play with me like that. People from New Orleans already called me. You heard? You preacher, get out of here.
You told too.
What was that, King?
You told?
Yeah, he told.
So we ain't gonna get into that. I just want to hear him out. Will you snap on him?
Yeah, of course.
Look like he sell incense all day.
We got other things we could go. But listen, I'll say this.
He look like he sell chew sticks on 2/5 by the 4 train.
Come on, let's not do that. Come on, Jim. No, but listen, what I'm saying is, I'm glad you addressed it.
Bro, he's not. Bro, let's not even talk about him. I don't even know him.
Let's move on.
I don't really care about him. He's a figment of my imagination.
Well, let me say this.
I've seen people reprimanded for less. I promise you.
Yeah, I just
wrinkle your shirt for way less than that.
Yeah. I will say he's been putting in work for years.
Yeah.
And he's been all over the country.
He didn't work obviously not working for him because he's using other people's name. If he was doing something from his heart, he shouldn't use nobody else's name if you've been outside doing that work.
That's it. I don't want to go back and forth. I just want y'all to know he's done work. He does work in a different area.
All right, keep doing work. You heard?
Okay.
Leave me out of that. You heard? I promise you, leave me out of that. I'm scared for anybody that bothers me. I don't want no problem. I don't want no drama. I don't want you to mention my name because I don't want no drama. I don't want to get an attitude because you mentioned my name for no reason. I don't even want to get into that. Okay. I start glitching it like that. You heard? You got me very upset about this, bro. Let me know what you do besides preaching to the people, bro. You heard? When you want to do something positive and do something for the people instead of talking, holla at me, bro.
You heard, man? You heard? You heard from Harlem?
Okay.
I give out turkeys. You heard?
In the back and forth, I missed what he said about Jim Jones. What did he say about Jim Jones?
Just do better. That's what he said.
Yeah, he had just mentioned his name.
He just said mention his name in the original.
Why did he say Jim Jones? Because there's a lot of people I would have called out before Jim Jones.
Me too. I don't know why he said Jim Jones.
I feel like there was something that Jim Jones had got into around that time when D1 was on the show. I can't really.
Oh, really?
I feel like it was some type of, I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody like him.
So my first reaction to all of this is, I don't like the fact that people say it's just entertainment. That's dumb. Entertainment is still killing people. The words, the lyrics, the reactions, the reenactments, all of that is still killing people.
Yeah.
So you can't just call it entertainment and say, this is how I make my money. No, that's not how you do this. I mean, first of all, you know, there's going to be, and this is the thing that really, really hurts me for non-believers, is that there is going to be a judgment day. There will be a day when you are called, and the Lamb's Book of Life is going to open up and see where you're at. And that's the thing, is like, you can't get away with this stuff.
It's a line from one of my favorite songs from Cross Movement back in the day. It's called Eternal Cipher. And there's a part when True Life, one of the members said, "This is the only heaven that you will ever get." And I think for some of these dudes, this is their heaven. Yeah. And the sad part about it is, the sad part about it is their heaven is only going to last as long as they last on earth. Yeah. Where eternity is forever. Yeah. So this is your heaven for 50 years, or how long God allowed Jim Jones to live, or Rick Ross, or Meek Mill. Yeah. This is their heaven now. Yeah. They don't think like, I'm going to heaven. They don't care about that. They care about right now. And that's the mentality of, sadly, the hip hop culture of thinking of right now instead of the future. Not thinking ahead, thinking of eternal thinking. You dig what I'm saying? Because when I can understand what his viewpoint of Jim Jones' viewpoint is, of saying why you call my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, why my name? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what was going on with Jim Jones. I really don't follow Jim Jones like that, so I don't know that brother like that. I know he I know him from Dipset, of course, and of course him directing stuff and all like that. So, you know what I mean? But I didn't know if he had music out that Jim D1 was talking about or anything. I just don't know. The only person I understand what D1 was shooting at was Meek Mill, because Meek Mill he does do Reform Talk. He's on these panels. We've talked about it in the Entertainment Report a couple weeks ago, where he was talking about, well, I could be on these panels and I could talk freely, and I could talk how I'm really passionate about, because these labels don't want me to talk about this, so I can't, you know what I'm saying? And I get why he said that. Like, are you gonna be with prison reform and this? Your music is causing people to go to jail.
Yeah, and that's the thing I really want people to, I would love to see a documentary done on this, whereas you go around and you talk to inmates and you say, well, what caused you to pull up the gun? What caused you to pull the trigger? Yeah. What were you listening to? I was listening to Meek Mill. I was listening to Rick Ross. I was listening to Wayne. Like really tell them that I'm here, and somebody else isn't, because of your music.
Well, I think people, and then always, the hip hop babies will say, well, the community need to change, and they change. Well, you're right in that certain extent, but at the same time, you're still helping the causes of the community to get worse. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I've heard stories years ago, of course, watching documentaries and people talking, like people getting high, dudes in gangs getting high, getting drunk, about to do a drive-by. They ain't playing Mozart.
Exactly.
They ain't playing Yolanda Adams.
That dude.
You know what I'm saying? They playing that gangster get that body. You know what I'm saying? Kind of vibe. So it's like, people don't get it because they're making money. Like I said, these are these people's heaven. This is their heaven right now, and they don't care about eternity. They care about right now, and that's the mentality of it. So if this is your heaven, and somebody is going against your heaven, then you're going to have a problem with what they're saying, because you don't see it past eternity. So the prayer is that the principalities that's over these people, that God would drop that and see it.
And that's exactly where I was finna go. Right now, like what we seen, like D1, he been doing this, but he's disrupting the principalities and the hold that the enemy has on that side of the industry. Because like you hear the responses and reactions, like, sound mad bothered. And bro, like D1 did not say,
he didn't say you a fake
you're killing all the kids. You're doing. He was just saying, like, pointing out the obvious. And I think the fact that the responses are so passionate, but also not directly addressing what D1 said, shows to me, like, okay, there's definitely been a disruption happening right now in that, and like the delusion that you can just separate what you're doing, the great stuff you're doing in quote unquote real life, from what you're saying in the music. Like, there's a balance in that. Like, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you can't just take out the authenticity part of creating music from like your experiences and stuff like that, just because you know, hey, a kid might hear this and take it the wrong way. But I feel like knowing that a kid or whoever, an adult might hear this and take it a certain way, you put a certain intentionality into what you're creating. So like a great example, like honestly, Meek Mill got a song called Trauma on his Championships album. That to me is like a perfect example of what D1 was like calling them to do more of. Like, give the reality of this world that you from, that you live in, and what comes with it. 'Cause that song was a very creative way. He was talking about, you know, this is what we was doing, this is same, like using those same phrases, like we get you at the light, but now I know it's mom, and I hear mama's crying on this side. He was like, the way he put it together was beautiful. So now when you listen to that, it's like, I'm finna, wait, who's my mama crying? Like, it's like, it makes you start thinking, and that's, I think that's all like, that I can, I think that's like a realistic expectation to put on, like you're saying, people who aren't believers and stuff too, is like, at least get a reality of what's going on.
Well, I think too, shout out to Lewis Art and Digital Design. They gave us a super chat. They said, although fictional, Nino Brown, based on real people, also gave out turkeys and gifts to the community while still pushing poison to it. So, but go ahead.
And you can't keep hiding behind, I'm giving out turkeys and shoes.
Yeah.
you can't keep hiding behind.
Well, I think, but then also, that goes back, I mean, God, just giving revelation, like those are the mirror of the hood that we receive from people, because when people give to poor and like poor people or disfranchised people, they look at them as heroes.
That's what happened with Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, like
Pablo Escobar was killing their kids and then paying them off, and making sure that they loved them.
Yeah.
And protected their neighborhoods.
I think only thing I would say was, if D1, if he would have just said the rap game, if he'd have been like calling out people, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, how y'all, the rap game, y'all got to step up, y'all got to blah blah blah. But just calling people out, I get it, I get why he did it. But at the same time, I know and I remember thinking about this too. I was like, yo, I think somebody's going to challenge him, like not challenge him on some logical thing, because some of these people are not logical people. They're going to challenge him physically. And when I thought about that, I actually thought about that. I seen Jim Jones' conversation.
Jim Jones' response was crazy.
Yeah. Like my nephew didn't slap him.
Like slap all that, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting him touched.
And the thing is this, right? You're giving out turkeys, you're giving out backpacks. You got the money. A lot of us would do the same thing if we had the money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we wouldn't have to poison the street with the music and litter people's lives up, with death. It's just
but let me ask y'all a question. Why do you think rappers don't see that their music can be causing men, women from bad neighborhoods to go to jail? Like, why don't they see that as an option?
I think they see it, they just don't care.
Yeah, they let the kids listen to it. So.
Yeah. I think they don't care. That kind of goes back to the whole what celebrities allow their kids to do versus what they won't allow them to do. Steve Jobs didn't want his kids using iPads and tablets. They couldn't use them as children, and then we have our children using them to distract all kinds of things, from happening. And so, same thing with Cardi B. She doesn't want her daughter listening to her music. But then, if my kids are in the mall, they got to listen to you. Well, a version of why.
Well, I think the thing is this too. At the same time, it's like I wouldn't want none of these entertainers to parent my kids, and that's what they're saying. Like, we're not your parents. Your parents should parent your kids.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like, we talked about this conversation. There's certain things that kids can't get away from. I've been telling my kids they couldn't watch a certain movie for Halloween, and then my daughter comes home and says, "Oh, they showed it to us at school."
Yeah.
I can stop that. I can go back and complain and say I didn't want my daughter to see that. But it's almost like, if it's things that they're going to be exposed to, clean it up. If my kids are going to be somewhere, like we go to a festival or something, and you're playing Cardi B, my kids are going to hear it. I can't just walk around with them holding their ears.
Yeah.
So clean up your music. If you're going to put out music to be famous for it, clean it up.
Okay, this is where the pushback from me happens, because I do believe in freedom of speech. I'm a big advocate of freedom of speech. And then I'm like, unplug your mic. What are we doing? If you don't believe in freedom of speech, what are we doing? I do think some people can do what they want, but not do what they want, like just wild out. I'm talking about write the content, but I think sometimes too, you do, regardless of you out and about, you still gotta explain to your kids why that is not the way you should. That song. Wow, I don't want you to listen to that song. Why that song? I don't. You know what I'm saying? Those conversations should be happening. So when your kids do get in front of their friends, they be like, they should be like, their spirit should be upset or be like, I don't want to listen to this.
I wonder, do Cardi B and Offset have a son yet?
Yeah,
they do. So I wonder how that. I always look at like what that looks like when he's 15 years old and he walks in the room and people are watching the WAP video making fun of his mother. You know what I'm saying? Or like ogling his mother in some kind of way.
After, yeah.
Like that's what you put your kids through when you do stuff like that. But then again, if she's conscious enough to say, I don't want my daughter to listen to this music, then you ought to know that there's something wrong when everybody else has to be subjected to.
And I think she will say, y'all have parents.
Right.
Parent your kids.
Here's my thing though, right? That's when they turn to it's just entertainment, right?
Yeah.
But they're selling to the influential people. We're Christians.
Yeah.
We do this as entertainment.
Yeah.
But we have taken the road of being responsible. It doesn't always come with a price.
Yeah.
Or the bag. But we've taken the road of being responsible and saying, okay, I don't care if I have to do this for the next 30 years of my life and I still got to work a 9 to 5.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm doing the right thing.
What if somebody said, you don't put, and this is taken to extreme, you don't put pornography in front of your kids. You parent them on stuff like that. And they would say, my music is for adults. Don't let your kids listen to my music.
And I would say that it's not the same thing when the radio is playing it. It's not the same thing. The level of exposure is everywhere now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Pornography is still something that my daughter doesn't have a tablet or an iPad or something. She's not seeing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got the channels blocked. The channels locked.
Yeah.
You can't see that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that radio has made it universal.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've always been mad at Radio 1 for the things that they've played because they did a panel for young ladies at Howard or something like that, and they told Kathy Hughes, they were like, you play bad music that's offensive to us, and Kathy Hughes was kind of like, I don't care. And I was like, dang, I work here. This sucks.
Right? It come back down to the money. Like,
that's what it is.
Down to the money, honestly, because it's like when we're talking about like media outlets, radio, the artists themselves, it's like I feel like it's their desire and love to keep making money because they feel like that's the highest thing that they can attain and get outweighs the like desire to like avoid putting out stuff that they know is destructive or can be destructive. It's like, well, if I don't do this though, I'm finna lose everything. Like it's like that, and then it comes back down to like missing the spiritual piece, like we said.
When I was in college, Nelly made the tip drill video. And then he tried to come to Spelman College, and they was like, "No, you're not coming here after being disrespectful." Those are types of things that open the eyes of these artists. You know what I'm saying? They open the eyes.
So should we call it a boycott? Go ahead.
Call it a boycott. Yeah, for sure.
So here's my question for D1, and this is just for the sake of conversation and kind of challenging him as well, because like. The stuff that he's saying is truthful, but like how he's going about it is not something that I personally agree with. So here's my question for D1. Like you feel the way you feel, you say the things that you said, but how can you justify having a song where people like a game? Yeah, like here's a guy that has charges and like things against him for abuse and things of that nature. You got a song with him from the last album that you shouted out to Rick Ross. Like how do you justify that?
Really quickly, I'll say that one of the things I think about that is when artists do collaborate with them, they're hoping that they are giving them that part of Jesus that they didn't have, but that they carry with them. And I think that in a sense that he's like, I can get the game to see something consciously and rap about something different. I'm helping the hip hop community. That's how I see it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the intent. But I think that's what Tasha Cobbs was doing when she brought Nicki Minaj onto her song. I still don't agree with that because she came out with the Menage a Trois like cover the next day, and it was like, yo,
the Menage a Trois cover. What's you talking about Anaconda?
I don't know. Nicki Minaj had something where it was like it was the next week or something.
Oh,
it was like
I guess
Minaj or something like that.
That's her last name.
No, but it was like it was a threesome though. It was okay. It was her like.
I don't know what you talking about.
It was crazy. Anyway, I saw it like right after the Tasha Cobb Leonard's thing dropped, and I was like, "Yo, that's a bad look." And so I think that's what the issue is.
To be honest, and I remember Kurt Franklin saying this, and this goes about what he was talking about with the collaboration. somebody could come to you and say, yo, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus, right? Kirk Franklin said that, and this is probably the worst person name to use, but he said R. Kelly came to him and was like, I'm a believer. I believe in Jesus. I'm this. And this is the time when he came out with
a great song.
We got a song called Lean On Me. Yeah. Remember the song? This is like in the late 90s with Revolution. And he was saying that, and he didn't know, this is what Kirk said. He said, I didn't know R. Kelly was working on a totally different project than what he told me. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes mainstream artists may hear a song, they may have a Christian background, or they may have some type of background to the church where they like, maybe, like I remember Snoop releasing that gospel album. He was like, finally my grandmother could listen to my music, because for years she couldn't, but now she can. So some stuff is just your background, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people have backgrounds in the church, and that's what they get on tracks with Christian artists, because they feel like they doing a God thing, or they're reminding them of church, I guess.
Facts. Well, like, here's my point though. Like, the reason I say that was because, like, if you're D1, like, you have a song with the game, so you can see the complexities and what it means to be human, right? So how come you don't have that same grace towards Rick Ross?
Yeah.
The same grace towards Jim Jones?
Yeah.
The same grace towards whoever? You know, like, you're coming at these dudes like really kind of like self-righteous, in my opinion.
Jesus,
you should
not the
really
self-righteous.
like show a little bit more, like, more grace to folks that come from like the street perspective and that paradigm. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, this is what D1, I think this is one of the things he said recently. I'm going to play this real quick. This is what he said. See what y'all think.
I hear some people saying, why would you publicly challenge certain artists that are glorifying murder and drug dealing and negativity in their music? The better question is, why would you not? If they have the audacity to publicly push these messages out there and reach the masses with them, then we should have the audacity to publicly oppose these messages. It don't go like, oh, you could put all that harmful stuff out there and reach whoever you want loudly and proudly, but we got to hit you up one-on-one on the cool. Like, if we got an issue with it, we got to say something behind the scenes and quietly, because we don't want to offend you. If we trying to do God's work, it don't work like that. See, for the first time, a line is being drawn, and that line is making people uncomfortable, because you having to decide what side you on. Are you on the side that's okay with them messages and okay with the impact of those negative messages, or are you on the side that's like, nah, we ain't rocking with that? You hear me? And a lot of people never had to decide which side of the line they was on, and it's making people uncomfortable right now. But that's not finna make me quiet. That's not finna make us quiet, because when you're doing God's work, it ain't something to be quiet about. It's something to be proud of. And it's something to keep going with. My joy is my weapon, and I keep it right here on my hip.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess he just answered your question, Czar. So that's what he's saying. Like, that's why he calling these people out.
Like, he's saying that he's drawing a line in the sand, but like this is not like a black and white thing, in my opinion. Like, I feel like folks' stories and like their journey is like complex. So there's going to be a lot of gray there too.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think my only thing was that I think the thing that me and D1, if he ever comes here, I would ask him this would be like, what do you, like, are you putting standards on people? This comes from a Christian perspective. Okay. Do you put standards on non-believers that shouldn't be on non-believers?
Yeah, exactly.
Because in my mind, I'm like Jim Jones, because I've seen different interviews D1's talking, and he's talking about lukewarm, and I'm like, well, the reference you're talking about is not, they're not Christian, so it's like, and they ain't trying to be Christian, you know what I mean? So it's like.
So I think what could potentially be helpful too is, because from what I got from what that last clip is like, I feel like on the spiritual side of things, D1 is trying to attack, like what you said, those principalities.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously I'm hoping that he's just following the Spirit's lead on that. But being very clear in those conversations, I think Tyrese has said something on another podcast where he literally was like, it's evil, demonic stuff and people are in, and I'm attacking that. Like I feel like you got to call it out for what it is, instead of just saying I'm drawing, you know, a line in the sand and keeping it kind of vague, general. Right. I feel like if that is what his intention is, I feel like you just got to straight up be like, this is like on a spiritual. This is some spirituals. This is what's going on. Yeah. This is what I believe is going on. This is what I'm attacking, and that I think would eliminate the tension of people feeling like, dang, why he just coming at like
random
these
people,
human people, like these people like that aren't even like Christian or like that.
On low key, why are they coming at my idols?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm in Old Testament. Old Testament is so dope, bro. When you read the Old Testament, you start seeing when they talk about people's idols. People have idols in their hearts for these people. You know, regardless how you feel about Jim Jones, he an idol to somebody in Harlem. You know what I mean? Regardless how you feel about Rick Ross, he's somebody idol in Miami or in Meek in Philly. You know what I mean? In Atlanta, these people are idols in these people's hearts. So if you taking it to them, they're attached to him. It's almost like in the Old Testament when they talk about Baal worship and they talk about all these other type of and you have to destroy him and it'd be like I remember one story where somebody was about to fight over that idol. And these people fight over their idols in their hearts. These people are living the life based off, like I remember Kanye said years ago, these are the new pastors and rappers. Right. You know what I'm saying? So their messaging is helping these people cope and do whatever they need to do. So at the end of the day, man, I'm going to say this. I know we're running out of time. I'm going to say this. I'm praying for D1. God protect them. Yeah, me too. You know what I mean? Because, that's real. D1, get some artists that want to fight with you, brother, because some artists in here say they don't want to fight. They say that's on you, brother.
All I'm saying is somebody got to call help. Somebody got to call for help.
We need a law enforcement person before we go out there.
Security.
Read us the right. Tell us. Get an attorney with us too, so we know what we're going.
Real quick, and this was another conversation, and we was going to talk about, but we probably won't have time to. But this is probably why, and this is another thing. This is in the Grammys. This is the first time in history that no hip hop song or album was nominated for Song of the Year, Record of the Year, or Album of the Year.
Good for them.
What you mean?
Good for them.
So
not for Christian hip hop, but good for mainstream.
You know what I mean? So now that's something that when
this
you
stuff
look
is garbage, y'all. Like it's awful, man. It's terrible. I hate it. I was watching something on. I was watching something and they mentioned the artist, and I was like, let me go look up this artist. Why is he making all this noise? And I saw he had like 300 million views, and it was like, well, you in the club, and I was like, what in the world is going on here? Like, this is crazy. And it was like, strip club stuff and gang stuff all around it, and I was like, man, this is retarded. This is not music. Let's get up out of here with it.
And I'll say this, and then we can close off this. I'll say this: that line, he saying, I'm drawing that line and saying, I think now it's the consumer. It's on the consumer, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that's the real thing. Where he said a lot of real stuff, but one of the things he just said recently on that line drawing, it's on the consumer. The consumer now has to realize, do I love drinking poison or do I want something refreshing that's good for me?
And I say too, just to like add on that, like on the flip side, for the artists who do still have substance in their music and still take this thing of music very seriously, this is an opportunity to really double down on your intentionality in your art. Because the stuff that's coming out, not even like outside of CHH, but in the mainstream, we better. I had a homie hit me up yesterday morning and he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, that Bossa Nova joint you just dropped, I think it's better than anything that released, like the Meek Mill, Rick Ross album, the Jack Harlow, like that's his tech. He was like the quality, not just what you saying and like, but like the beat, the quality, the delivery, the mix, like everything.
We've been good.
Like so, y'all double down on the quality of music right now, because it's needed.
I will say this: I do think this is the perfect opportunity for CHH. And then the perfect opportunity for people who do positive music.
Absolutely.
So real quick before we get up out of here, on the poll, who do you think why do you think hip hop culture is comfortable pushing poison? Majority of folks said it's the money, but it was a slight tie between it's accepted by the audience and the artist too, and I believe that's real too, because these Glorrillas and all this other stuff out here, man, that stuff's gotta go too.
You don't like Big Glow?
No, not at all.
Big Glow,
not at all. Not at all, man. I'm so grateful for the Wandays and Angie Roses of the world that my daughters can look up to.
Speaking of Wanda,
what's up?
Let's go. Line for line. Let's go.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, stay
what's
tuned.
The line for line today?
Stay tuned. You're in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let go.